Okay, guys, so welcome to our podcast. We've got Robin and James. They have came from the Harmony Duo. Are you based in Glasgow, just on the west coast?
I'm based in Glasgow. Yeah, I'm at Strathclyde University as well as a full-time bagpiper. But James is based in Doon, where we grew up.
Awesome. So you guys do the wedding industry. You do a lot of weddings on the west coast. I'm going to really start off by saying that this is really for couples that are maybe looking for pipers, so that we can have a chat, talk about what they should be looking for, when they really should be looking to book a piper, what they expect on the day. So I'm really going to start with you, Robin, and well, both of you really, about how your business came about.
Yeah, so we came about. We've been doing bagpiping for our whole lives. In fact, we've been doing bagpiping together. We started when we were 8 years old in the same primary school with the same teacher, and we had the same teacher doing the same lessons every Monday afternoon, missing the same maths class, all the way through till we left high school. When we left high school, we started doing our own individual things, playing bagpiping at weddings by ourselves. And then at the start of 2023, we decided to come together because we were so in sync, and we were playing in harmony together when we were busking on Buchanan Street, and we thought we could do this at weddings. We really think we've got a product here.
So is that how you got into the wedding industry? Was it through like busking and thought this was a good industry to get into?
Yeah, so really when we started, it was really sort of a taste of business. We'd both really been very interested in being bagpipers, and it was when we got us to a certain age that we finally decided that it was, we could start offering our services for weddings. So we, as Robin said, we started by ourselves, but it was only when we started busking on the streets on Buchanan Street in Glasgow together that we really found out that it was so much fun to come together and play together. So we were already in the industry before Harmony Bagpiping was ever a thing. But what really kick-started Harmony Bagpiping was the joy we found of playing together as a duo and sort of continuing our friendship. And and it's really good. When we're at weddings, it's such a difference being there by yourself compared to being there with my best friend playing at the wedding. So, it's really good.
And it must be good because you can bounce off of each other. I take it when you're there, and you probably, because I've filmed a couple of weddings with you, and I always found there was a really nice vibe between the both of you, and you were really in sync, especially with the guests. It's nice having like a piper, but it's sometimes unusual to see two pipers at a wedding. So do you think that when there's two of you there, not that you're not noticeable because of course you're playing the bagpipes, but when there's two, do you think some people look like, oh God, there's actually two people or two pipers rather than just the one?
Yeah, I think it is very noticeable, and I think it adds so much more because it's the matching uniform as well. Because it's all well and good having a piper in uniform playing, but when you've got two in the matching uniform, the full kit, playing in harmony together, it works really well. And what we do is, and you've commented on the vibe together that we have. When we're at a wedding, what we split up the weddings when we're planning them and organising them, and who's communicating with the couple. And if it was, for example, a couple that I'd been speaking to, I planned it all. I would have taken lead in it, told James everything that needed to be done, and on the day, I'd very much take charge and make sure that everything goes smoothly, and all the responsibilities on me that day. And we found that works really, really well, just because of all the experience we've had now playing at weddings together. When you've got one person almost in charge, although it is both of us, but we almost pretend that one of us is in charge on the day, and then the other goes along with it. It just works so well, and you're right to comment on that, I'd say.
Yeah. As you say, I noticed it straight away when I seen the two of you, and it's most of your clients. Is it like mostly recommendations that you get, or is it specifically through Instagram, Facebook, or other means of how you advertise, or is it a lot of my work, for instance, a lot of my stuff I get is sometimes a lot of recommendations. You know, they see our work, and then of course they'll recommend us to maybe guests that are getting married. Do you find the same thing with pipers? Is it the same across the board for you guys as well?
Yeah, I mean, we're really lucky in that we get a really good marketing opportunity, and that is to show off our product. That's our first and foremost means of marketing. So when we're at a wedding, we make sure that we are there to perform, we talk to guests, and it's almost networking. Because when you're at a wedding, there's people that are getting married next year or in 6 months or have another event that they need a piper for. So lots of our work comes through recommendations, and the recommendations come from good work. So we put most or all of our energy at the start on creating a good product by setting a leader, by making sure our tuning is perfect and our uniform is matching and in good nick. Now, the second means of traffic or from customers, you could say, or couples, is through our website. We've spent a lot of time and continue to spend a lot of time on our website and being found on Google, because it can be quite hard to figure out what piper you want and what's a good piper and what you should have at a wedding. It can be really confusing because, you know, we're pipers, we do weddings all the time. We know exactly what you should have or what works well at a wedding. So we focus lots of time and energy onto our website because it's not just a means of communication and grabbing people from sort of prospective couples, but it's also a really good platform to educate them and to help them design their booking for the bagpipes at their wedding. So
Yeah.
So mix of
Yeah,
both.
I think you're really spot on. For me, I mean, we're busy doing bridal prep and what have you. So that's what guests don't really get to see. You know, we're behind the scenes when it comes to like the bridal prep, the groom prep, and then we go to the ceremony. But I think for me, if I was getting married and looking for a piper, it's probably one of the first things the guests see before they go into the ceremony. And it's how you, I suppose, play and how you're dressed sets the whole theme for the wedding, because I think sometimes, you know, before I go into the wedding industry, and probably there's a lot of brides and grooms out there probably maybe think the same thing, like a piper is a piper. You know, you just get a piper. But when I've seen you guys perform and how you were dressed, the full kit, before I even got into the ceremony, it just looked so, not just authentic, but the whole tone of the wedding was set by how you guys played. And I think when I watched you guys, and I've watched some excellent pipers out there, it really said to me how important it was to have a really good piper. Now, you know, I've heard not so very good pipers, and I could tell straight away, because I go to weddings sometimes every weekend. So from my perspective, to see you guys, the way you were dressed, I think that really does set the tone for a wedding.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'd agree, and it's very kind of you to comment on our playing like that, because as we say, as James just said about the product, that is first and foremost. We can do all the advertising we want, take all the photos, take all the videos we want, but at the end of the day, it's our playing that we take pride on and how well we can perform. We're musicians first and foremost, so we appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No problem at all. How long did it take you to learn the bagpipes? Sorry, James. How long did it take you to learn the bagpipes? Was it a long process? Because I think, again, talking about your craft, you know, like when I'm editing and people see the final product, they don't know maybe it's taken me, you know, months or years to learn that kind of skill and to bring that to the forefront. So bagpipes, learning bagpipes, and, you know, can you tell us a time scale on that? I know everybody will work differently to their own skills, but yourselves.
Yeah, we've been playing our whole lives. We started when we were 8, and when James was 7, and when I was 8. So from a really young age, but for me, it's as long as I can remember. I can always remember just being a piper. So, but after we went through primary school, got our lessons every week. Then in high school, we both joined our local pipe band, the Doon Pipe Band. who were established in 2013, basically when we joined. So we've been with them the whole way through as they developed, and through that we've developed too. Then also we joined the high school pipe band as well, where I was pipe major and James was very supportive to me through that, which was probably the most educational experience I think we've had till we left school through the bagpipes, just because taking control of a band and making sure everybody's in tune. Now we only have to worry about the two of us, but back then we had to worry about 20 people. Then after that, I've went on to university in Glasgow, and busking in Buchanan Street is the most practice I've ever had, because you'll be playing for 2 hours, you're absolutely knackered, you don't want to do any more, someone will hand you a fiver, oh, can I get Flower of Scotland? You go, right, fine, and while you're playing that, someone else throws another penny in your bucket, and next thing you know, you've been there for 5 hours. And I think James joined the City of Discovery pipe band, so if you wanted to talk about that and how that helped you develop, James.
Yeah, so the City of Discovery pipe band is a band up in Dundee. So I study business up at the University of Dundee. Now, we're a competing band and we go to all the pipe band competitions. We actually won first place in our grade on Saturday, just past. So
well done.
Thank you very much. So being in a good band and working alongside the pipe major is a very, very educational experience. It gives you a very good opportunity to learn how different types of bagpipes work, because it's a bit like cars. Not all bagpipes are the same. They're different sizes. They're made of different materials. So they act very differently. So just yesterday, we were at a wedding at Cameron House, and Robin and I, one of us were in the shade and one of us were in the sun. So after every tune, we'd march and swap places. So then I would go from the shade into the sun, because when I'm in the shade, I'm colder than Robin, or my bagpipes are. So my bagpipes would drop in pitch and we'd become out of tune. So they're very temperamental instruments, and to watch the pipe major sort of control, 15 different bagpipes, and not just bagpipes, but different types of bagpipes, has been a very educational opportunity. And that's why I'm in charge of tuning at Harmony Bagpiping. When we go, even if Robin takes the lead on the gig, at the start of the gig, we'll tune together and I'll take charge. And then once I'm happy, I'll pass over to Robin. And then it will just sort of be a maintenance tuning experience after that. But, the amount of education we've had from pipe bands and just from experience, it's been really, really good to build constantly. From every wedding we go to, we always build on our existing knowledge, and it's why we're able to produce the sound we do today. And because we've got this big backup of experience to help us, we know fine well, right, we're in the sun, Robin's in the shade, let's swap. It means we can then focus on our performance, because that's one of the biggest selling points for us. And it's why we get so many people coming up to us and saying that you're amazing, because we don't just stand there and pipe, so we don't just stand there, maybe tap our foot like a statue. We dance about and we interact with people. And there's a tune, The Black Bear, and we actually raise our voice during that song, and we go, "Yoo!" whilst we're bagpiping. So having this big, huge pool of experience really helps us to focus on other things, like smiling whilst we're playing, making sure our kit stays nice and straight, and we can dance with other people. I mean, we're at a Muslim wedding yesterday, and we were playing with some dole drummers, and then there were some people, because we're playing nice and fast tunes, dancing, and we broke off into our positions and started dancing with the crowd. It was amazing. So it makes it that much more fun when we can break off character. We're not like statues, and we're dancing about and interacting with people.
Yeah, and you're spot on, because it was at Katrina and Mark's wedding, wasn't it? We did together.
Yeah.
And the footage I'm about to play, because I'd seen how you were interacting with the guests, and as you say, the way you were moving with the beat, I thought it would be really nice to get that footage. Get that footage in, because I thought it was really touching. I mean, I know sometimes, bagpipes can seem like a cliche thing. It's a Scottish thing, but I think you are right. I think having these kind of little different, unique things to what you do makes a big difference to even the guests, because you're interacting with them. You're not just, as you say, the piper standing at the side of the door or at the edge of the car park. You're actually interacting with the guests. So what I'm going to do now is play the Harmony Duo. I'm just going to show a 1-minute clip with the audio. And I loved that. That for me was awesome. It's funny, even now I still get goosebumps watching it, because the way you guys had worked in sync to go over the bridge and then just part while they were just slow dancing was really, really moving and really touching.
And that was all your idea, so well done.
Was that?
I'm saying that was all your idea as well. You coordinated that, so well done.
Thank you very much. But it was, I had that vision because I'd seen you guys working so well in sync. And again, I think that's probably when you grew up together and, you know, you've done all this for years now. Even, as I say, standing at the entrance, the way you were moving, mirror image of each other, you could tell that it wasn't like a standalone, you know, two pipers piping. It felt like it was a proper duo, hence the name Harmony Duo. So I'm going to talk from a bride's perspective, or a groom's perspective, or a couple's perspective. If you were looking to book a piper, when should they look to book, instance, yourselves? I mean, I know that because you work so well and your instruments are, you know, top notch, and you probably do get a lot of recommendations, you probably are busy quite a lot of the time. So when should couples look to book yourself?
So I would say the earliest as possible, because we are getting busier and busier as we're growing. But the best thing about working together with your best friend is that if they want one piper and you're not available, there's a high chance that someone else is going to be available. So that's one of my favorite things, is just being able to not let down couples, because that's what I was doing before we'd started our duo together. Are you available? Sorry, no. Good luck. But now it's, oh, I'm really sorry, I'm not. I would have loved to play for you. However, I have this amazing bagpiper who you will get the exact same service, same uniform, same quality of playing, same accents because we grew up in the same area. So here's our email. So to answer the question, the sooner the better. However, if not, we should be able to help you out.
Yeah, and what you can do as well is, the reason we'd say book as soon as you can is because you can tell us your date, pay a deposit, and that will secure your date in. And there's no rush to plan the bagpipes. So quite a lot of people, they will wait until they've got an idea of what they want at their wedding. So what they want the bagpipes to do, what songs they want, when they want the bagpipes to play. But what we would say is, if you know you want the bagpipes and you want us, contact us as soon as you can, pay a deposit and get your date secured, and that's it. You can leave it, you know, if you're booking us in a year or a year and a half in advance, you know, we could organize all the details a month before the wedding, but you've had us booked up for a year and 5 months, and it means that you can secure your date in, and we won't rush you for any details or anything, but it means that you can secure that date, and then you won't sort of have your details ready, contact us, and we have to say, sorry, we're not available, especially when it comes to the Harmony Duo. Because if Robin's booked for a solo bagpiping wedding, I would only be able to do solo bagpiping because we couldn't cancel on the other client. So especially if you want our harmonizing duo, definitely get in touch as soon as you can, pay your deposit, and that's it sorted. We can sort the rest later.
Perfect. And once they've paid their deposit and they've secured the date, I know you just touched on it there about the music. I take it do you have a list of music that you play, or do you just ask them to give you music themselves?
Yeah, so we've got on our weddings page, we've got a short recommended list of tunes. Now, the reason it's short is to make it nice and easy to choose tunes. So the tunes on there are very common and very good tunes. So they're our best picks, and this is what we recommend you to have at your wedding. And we've sectioned it up into all the different spots as well. So for coming down the aisle, we've got tunes you can pick there, back up the aisle, and to the top table as well. So we try to make it as easy as possible to choose your tunes. And we've also got an extended list on our website as well, which you can find in the footer of our webpage. And that's got a lot more tune choices that you can choose from. And again, tunes that are recommended by us. So of course they're going to be great tunes. What you can do is you can request tunes as well. So this in July, I'm playing Lady Gaga for a wedding. So we definitely don't stick to the traditional stuff, and we can play the modern tunes as well. So yeah.
I was going to say, with likes of like Bridgerton and everything now, isn't it? It's like the violinists. You don't really hear, like when I go to weddings a lot of the time, it's not like classical violinists now. It's like, I recognise that song. I can't remember where the song is from, but I'm thinking that's modern that. So I think you're right. I think it's nice that you can do like modern stuff as well, not just the traditional tunes. So
there's some tunes that don't work quite as well on the bagpipes, but there's some you wouldn't believe it. It's like absolutely perfect. For example, Mamma Mia, the whole tune works perfectly on the bagpipes. It's one of me and James's favourite to play behind Star Wars. I think that's our favourite. But Mamma Mia, the whole way through, da 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 da, all works on the bagpipes. It's fantastic. I was playing it last night.
I'm gonna make a note of that, Robin. I'm gonna say to any brides, Mamma Mia.
It's good tune.
I'll probably get a look from a piper asking what am I doing, asking them to play Mamma Mia. So once they've booked, they've secured the date, they can choose their tunes. Again, this is the reason I like to do these kind of podcasts is because I wasn't always in the wedding industry, a bit like yourselves, and when I got married, I probably thought, a piper basically got dressed half an hour before, ran out the door, got there, did a tune or a couple of tunes, and then left. Now, we know and I certainly know that's not the case. So if you can just tell us a bit about your working day from, if they say the ceremony is at 1:00, how you go about preparing for that.
So lots of couples ask for different packages on the day. So of course there's the organisation leading up to it. We do phone calls, video calls, and lots of emails so we can keep track of everything that's been discussed. For some people, it's a really quick process. They're like, yep, we want the bagpipes. What do you recommend? Let's go with that. For some people, they really like to tailor it to whatever they'd like, and we're more than happy with either. So when it comes to on the day, we usually would play for the guests arriving, so we'll arrive an hour before the guests are starting to arrive, just to make sure we can speak to the venue, speak to the staff, coordinate exactly where we're going to be standing, tune up, of course. So then once that's sorted, we play for the guests arriving, then we can play during the ceremony if it's at 1:00, as you say. So we've been playing from 12:00 till 1:00, greeting everyone, nodding at them as they come in. Maybe if we're taking a little breather, holding the door for them and opening it for them and welcoming them. And then playing the bride down the aisle, or groom, depending on the situation, because sometimes I do a lot of elopements where it's just the two of them, and it could even be the bride and the bride, or the groom and the groom, or the bride and the groom walking down together, which is really nice, because sometimes I have to witness the wedding as well. It's like me and the photographer, because they've just got no guests. Anyway, I digress. Then we can do the signing of the register, then marching the couple back up the aisle, then playing during the drinks reception, which is our favourite bit because that's when we just can kind of go crazy with, as discussed earlier, the Mamma Mia's and the Star Wars and the dancing with all the guests and jumping in loads of photos with them. Then yeah, my favourite bit, playing them to the top table.
And top table, and then is after the top table. Do you guys head off after that event, or can you stay later? Do what did you stay later? Is it usually just once you've piped them up to the top table that you guys are finished for the day?
So we can play for absolutely anything. So some people just want guest arrival, so we'll just play an hour before the ceremony, or they'll just want it during the ceremony, or so it might be they just want it down the aisle, or they just want piped back up the aisle, and that's it. Or some people want the whole day piped for everything all the way to the top table. And then if you want us to stay after into the evening reception as well, we'd love to stay for that and continue to play the bagpipes and again take photos and talk to the guests. We're very much a presence at weddings.
The thing about that as well is that obviously the bagpipes are such a nice thing, and as we were discussing earlier, it creates a sense of what the day's going to be like when you've got the bagpipes at the front door. And actually, because usually it's maybe 50 to 100 people at the ceremony, and then they invite another 200 people later, the couple kind of feels bad that they're not getting the bagpipes. So quite often, we will get asked to stay to play for the arrival of the evening guests, because I think maybe it sets that mood that it's party time.
Yeah, ready to party, and I think that's a really nice service. I mean, a lot of our clients and what have you, they come from like America, Canada. Sometimes we've had clients come over the world, and we find that the guests themselves are the ones that will fuss over the bagpipes, and because it's a Scottish thing. And they want to get the pictures taken. So I always think it would be nice sometimes if the nighttime guests could get pictures taken with the bag, especially if they're coming from overseas, because a lot of the guests don't get that opportunity. And again, when the ceremony, if they're there early enough, it's fine. They can probably get photographs with you guys. But yourself, if time's running and they think, I can't, I'll get a photograph afterwards. But sometimes people forget. I think it's a nice service to be able to offer that if they want you to stay later, that you can stay later. Regarding venues, do you guys have favourites just out of fun? Have you guys got any specific favourites that you like, or does it matter really to you guys?
Yeah, I'd say that almost it's really hard to keep track of which one's my favourite, because every time I go to a new venue and I'm chatting to the staff, I'm like, oh my goodness, this is my favourite. But I wouldn't say I've got a favourite, but I definitely say that there's things that would make a venue better. And for me, it's just you can have it anywhere, any location, any size, doesn't really matter. I think it's all about the people that are there and the staff that they have, that you work with. You can tell when they're just genuinely love their job, and it just makes the wedding so much more enjoyable. Because I know that my little sister works as in waiting staff in the wedding industry, and I know that she joins in with the weddings. She'll end up back home at 1 a.m. after dancing all night. So, and I really think that just makes it, to be honest. For me, it's just about people when I go to a wedding venue. What about you, James?
No, I would say exactly the same. In terms of aesthetics, you could have a blank space and fill it with decorations, and it would look absolutely amazing. The perfect example for that is the barn wedding venues.
Yeah.
It is a shed. That's all it is. It's just a shed, but they design it in such a way that it looks really nice. So I would say, in terms of aesthetics, you can go old and you can go for a nice furnished castle, or you can go for something simple and blank like a function suite in a hotel. You can fill it with decorations like a DIY wedding, or you can pay someone to do that for you, and you can make it look really nice. But as Robin said, the most important thing is the staff, because they're the people who are going to be coordinating the weddings, giving you food, dealing with any problems, dealing with any late arrivals or any last minute changes to the weddings. And we see this firsthand. We arrive an hour, as Robin said, an hour before we're meant to start playing. And the first thing we'll do is we'll get changed and we'll go talk to the staff, make sure that our plans are the same. And you can really tell just by the sheet and the order of service or the schedule for the day that the staff members have got, you can really get a sense right from the get-go how well this wedding is going to run. And, having a good leader as well and familiar staff to the venue is very important. If you have staff that are there quite a lot, even if it's a wedding management company, that they're there and they do every wedding at that venue, that's what you want, because the staff are going to be familiar with the wedding and the way it runs and their style of wedding service as well, because every venue is slightly different.
I couldn't agree more. I think you're absolutely spot on. For me, venues, it's about the staff, and it's about how it's run, and it's about how they interact with guests, the bride and groom and what have you. The reason I'm laughing is because I don't know if you can see him, but the cat's just like walked right up and it's like,
I can hear them yelling.
Sorry. I totally agree. I think from my perspective, you're right. It's about the people and the venues. As you say, you can be at some absolutely stunning venues. You could be ones where they've decorated themselves, just looks just as nice, but it's the staff. It's how they interact with the guests. Is the major thing for me. Have you guys got any? I know we can't mention places or names, but any funny stories or any funny story about a wedding? I bet you've got some.
I'd say, as we were discussing earlier, because the last thing we would usually do is play for the evening guest arrival. That's when all the drinking starts and the partying starts. So we miss out on all the funny stories. But I would say, just quickly, being spat on by an alpaca, to be honest.
About what, sorry?
Spat on by an alpaca one time at a wedding.
Oh, yeah.
My biggest concern was just because what they do is they just spit up basically from their bowels. I was like, oh no, everyone's going to think I stink.
And how did you get so close to it?
Because it was on an alpaca farm, and the owner just brought one of them into the wedding, and I was stroking it, and then it started eating my uniform, so I started like kind of pushing it away, and then it just decided to spit on me.
That'd be just typical, eh? And if you guys, can you, James, tell me, or can you tell us your website address?
Yes, it's www.harmonybagpiping.co.uk.
Awesome. And Robin, your Instagram?
At Harmony Bagpiping.
And have you got on the other social medias? Is it just Instagram and Facebook and your website?
TikTok.
And TikTok as well, is it?
Course,
yeah. So Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, and our website. That's where you can find us.
And it's all under Harmony.
Pardon?
Harmony Bagpiping.
Yeah, it's all Harmony Bagpiping.
Awesome, guys. Well, listen, it was absolutely great speaking to you. I'll hopefully see you at another couple of weddings in the future. For brides and grooms, couples, partners, anybody that's looking for a piper, check these guys out. Go onto their website, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And we hope to get you on we'll probably try and get you on a live feed next time. Because brides and grooms, etc., will all want to probably maybe have questions that I haven't asked. So we'll book in another date to get you guys back on.
Thank you very much. We'd love to.
Thank you.
All right. Well, listen, it was great speaking to you, and I'll see you at the next one.
See ya.
See you later.